What was your experience?
Uh, okay, so we're both what, 11 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old. Um, the part of Oakland that I lived in was geographically, call it white, Oakland down in the flat areas. That's where essentially the black folk lived. The white folk lived up towards the hills. My school was, I'm going to say, 99.9% white. We were let go early that day because Martin Luther King had been assassinated in Memphis. Martin Luther King at that time was a face in the news. We had studied to some degree the "I Have a Dream" speech from 1963. He was a public figure that spoke on social issues. But other than that, he was, to me, was just, he was a guy in the news. But we did know that he was famous, that he was a reverend, and that he was working in the grander aspects of civil rights at a time when, look, the monkeys were on TV, and it was kind of cool to be working towards civil rights and understanding between the races. But that day, when we were walking home from school, the word went out like that there were already riots down in the flats of Oakland, in East Oakland, that there were already signs of armed black people coming up in cars. There was already a story that someone had seen a car full of black guys driving fast over the hill on Tompkins Avenue. There was already a story about someone had seen a black guy in the neighborhood and he was carrying a gun already. None of this was true, but it's the type of story that went out like lightning. And so I haven't experienced a day like that in my memory, not since we were released from school after John F. Kennedy was assassinated, and the world seemed very quiet. There was a hush sort of in the air. The hurly-burly of the day had given way to some other thing. In 1963, it was of sadness. In 1968, it was of fear. And we, as a bunch of white kids walking home from our school there in West Oakland, in the hills of Oakland, we were afraid that the black people were coming to get us because we had killed Martin Luther King.
So you're